Top of the morning to you. It's Friday the 31st of October and it's about 12:30. Temperature's about 13 and we've had rain all morning and we had rain all yesterday. The fields once again are saturated. What and who am I listening to in the shower these days? Well, I'm listening to Belfast's very own Ivan Morrison. And Ivan Morrison is not a person I would have listened to that much, but I would have listened to his best known songs, you know, like Gloria and Brown Eyed Girl and whatnot, but not an awful lot of others. And this is his Greatest Hits full album 2022, Best Songs of Van Morrison, and it's chock-a-block full of his best songs. Wild Night, Brown Eyed Girl, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, Tupelo Honey, Moondance, These Are the Days, Have I Told You Lately? And some of these are self-penned and some of them are cover versions by Van Morrison. Into the Mystic has always been a favourite of mine, so I do play this in the shower, and it is followed off in the shower by this one that you might not know. It's called Reminds Me of You. It's a favourite of mine. And then I skipped on to others, but I'll just go down this. Bring It On Home to Me, Sweet Things, Sometimes We Cry, Astral Weeks, Bright Side of the Road, and Days Like This. And here's another one I skip on to, more recent Van Morrison track. It's called Cutting Corners. And this is a video I made 10 years ago when I dandered down Hyndford Street. And I'm just going to show you where Van lived in those early days. These are the streets that he ran around. And this is me walking down Hyndford Street toward Van Morrison's boyhood home. And there's a plaque up outside near the front door. There you go. Van Morrison, birthplace. And this house and its surrounding area and the Con River running close by, you know, is mentioned in Orangefield and Cypress Avenue and the stadium and down in the Hollow. They're all mentioned in Van Morrison's songs. He's very good about doing that. He's not ashamed of his hometown. This is the type of house I was brought up in as well, back in Banbridge. And this is the Conchwater stream, a few hundred yards away. And this is down in the Hollow. And this is reputedly one of the oldest bridges in Northern Ireland, dating from the 1200s apparently. And it's been refurbished, obviously. And this is the Hollow, the famous Hollow off the Bearsbridge Road that Van Morrison would have sung about. and Brown-Eyed Girl. It's the Con O'Neill Bridge. It's just a sort of stepping stone bridge across the River Conswater, which is most of the time of the year is just have nothing more than a stream. And that shot that you just saw just up above there is Van Morrison playing a concert on Cypress Avenue. And Chrissy Hind of the Protestants was there. Yeah, there's it there. And that picture there on this notice board is Elmgrove Primary School, where Van Morrison went to school. And you'll see more of that in a wee minute or two in another one of my videos, because I walked round, I got inside Elmgrove Primary School before it closed there about a year ago. Yeah, there's Elmgrove Primary School. Well, it wasn't its last day, but it closed a few weeks after I shot this video. And you can imagine Van Morrison running around here with his mates and his bandmates, because all his bandmates came from the same area. George Best lived 3 or 4 miles away, up the Craiggy. And I do, as I say, a video walk round of it inside. That video that I did that about a year ago, and it's called Bye Bye Bearsbridge. Belfast Elmgrove Primary School is on the move, and they have moved to the Rteal Primary School site and amalgamated. That's what they've done. And I don't think this building is going to be pulled down. I think it's listed. Sir George Ivan Van Morrison, OBE, born 31st of August. I was born on the 31st of August, but he was born a few years younger than me, or older than me, is it? I don't know. He was born in 1945 at the close of the Second World War. I was born in 1953. Sir Van Morrison is a Northern Ireland singer-songwriter, instrumentalist and record producer. His professional career began as a teenager in the late 1950s, playing a variety of instruments including guitar, harmonica, keyboard, saxophone for various Irish show bands. Covering the popular hits of the time, Van Morrison rose to prominence in the mid-60s as the lead singer of Northern Ireland R&B band Them. They were groundbreaking in Belfast, with whom he recorded the classic Gloria. His solo career began in 1967 under the pop hit Orientated Guidance of Bert Burns, with the release of the hit single Brown-Eyed Girl. Everything just took off from then. And of course, Van Morrison has been immortalised in in so many different ways, but I like to look at the street art. And this one is long gone, I'm afraid. This is a piece of street art done by Glenn Malloy, very well-known, popular street artist in and around Belfast and beyond. So this is one of Glenn Malloy's pieces that I videoed 8 years ago in Hill Street. This is a newer piece of street art by Glenn Malloy again, and it's of Van de Man. And it's very close to where Van Morrison was brought up in Hyndford Street. Absolutely brilliant. And Van celebrated his 80th birthday there not so long ago, and who was on stage with him? Ronnie Wood. I just smiled. Ronnie Wood is such a character, and there he was, paying tribute to Ivan Morrison from East Belfast, Hyndford Street. And he's seen round Bloomfield Avenue and whatnot. Don't know where he lives, but he's quite a character. He doesn't suffer fools gladly, so I needn't go anywhere near him. But he's done so well, and he's brought credit to his home city. He's just a genius music man. He's an absolute genius. So that's what I'm listening to in the shower. These 4 tracks in particular, and if you've got a favourite Van Morrison song, you know, get back to me in the posts and I'll start listening to it in the shower too. And I've going to add this wee section on to the end of the video here. Breaking news tonight. I was watching the TV news, BBC News tonight, and they have just revealed that Van Morrison's house at Hyndford Street here, 125, it's going to be a museum. And this is going to be like the George Best Museum over in Castlereagh, Stitt, where you can book to come and have a look round, where Van Morrison was born and lived right into his teenage years and slightly more. This is absolutely amazing, and coincidentally amazing that this has been revealed tonight. Now, the museum will not probably be up and running for a year or two, but plans have been set in motion for this to take place and to come about, and that's brilliant news for all Van Morrison fans around the world, and even in Belfast. I'd like to go and see this myself. Brilliant, and so coincidental. There's me making a video about Van Morrison on the very night that this news has just broke. There we go.